Hey guys, it's Danny. Hope you all had a great weekend. Today I'm gonna show you a few flower shop finds that I acquired over the past week. There appears to be a shortage of orchids in flower shops this season, and I don't mean Phalaenopsis. Phalaenopsis are ever present even where you don't want them to be. It's the other orchids that I'm interested in. And up until now, when autumn or actually winter came, in flower shops I used to find a lot of so-called Cattleyas. They're the Oncidium intergenerics. This year, nothing. But last week, apparently, the flower shops did stock with a few orchids, so I got a bunch of them. Gonna show them to you today. Some of them have some issues, which we will discuss in other videos. But with that said, let's just get to the orchids. I do also have a few Phalaenopsis. You've seen them in Saturday's video, and we're gonna take a look at them as well. So first of all, some Miltoniopsis. Yes, these orchids are actually pretty high in my wants list, together with the Nellyeiler and other Miltoniopsis hybrids or intergenerics, and I do want to make quite a nice collection of them as well. And before a few of you already start to type, but Danny, you live in a warm climate, you cannot keep these things alive, why did you purchase them? I think you missed some videos. Actually, over the past year, I've done pretty fantastic with Miltoniopsis, Nellyeilers, and Miltoniopsis intergenerics and other types of hybrids. So do check back in my archive, look for the setup change, and there we go, you'll be up to date. Back to the haul though. I do have a few Miltoniopsis, but if you remember, some of them I purchased without flowers, some of them I lost. I know the Hair Alexander I lost, it had an issue for whatever reason. The new growths were really contorted, even though I did have roots on the orchid, and then they had some weird spotting. So I know I don't have the Hair Alexander, which is my favorite, so I purchased it. And the other ones, I'm not entirely sure what they are. If they're doubles, it's okay, we're gonna see what to do with them. But since Miltoniopsis were not a common sight, this year at least, I thought, well, you know what, I'm gonna get whatever I can find. So first, my Miltoniopsis collection absolutely needs to have a red tide, because this was my first ever Miltoniopsis orchid 5 years ago, when I purchased one of these at a discount and actually did super good with it, and I made it bloom, and it was just wonderful. And I got this impression that, hey, these are really easy orchids to grow. But then summer and spider mites came, and the combination of the two was pretty fatal. So I always want to have a red tide Miltoniopsis. This is one of those which smells like roses to me. Miltoniopsis have very similar fragrances, but since I did have quite a few and I do like them, I kind of know them. Red tide to me has always smelled rather rosy, and I'm happy to say that this particular one looks really good. We have a new growth there. We have some back bulbs which look good as well. Not a whole lot of them, but we do have quite a nice bulb structure, let's say. I do have some roots at the surface as well. Not sure how many of them are alive in the pot. We're gonna have to repot them. I don't want to go through it now though, because with these orchids, the less you stress them, the better. You really don't want to stress them when repotting. Either I cut the flower spike and repot the orchid, either I keep it a little longer, enjoy the blooms, and just look at the orchid, see if it has issues. If not, I'm just going to keep it like that. So repotting is postponed for her in particular, not for the other two. But this one really looks in great shape. I have quite a lot of flowers opening up right now. The only thing I'm missing is fragrance, because these orchids were shocked. We're gonna talk about it. It's a lot more evident on the other ones, but this one has been as well. Hopefully the fragrance will develop once they figure out where they are and that everything is okay around them. But yeah, there we go. A really healthy red tide Miltoniopsis. Pretty rare thing to come by. I had to grab it, really. Next to it, it's the Hair Alexander. Yes, this is my favorite out of all Miltoniopsis, not looks-wise, but fragrance-wise. I can detect a really subtle difference between the fragrance of this one and all the others. This one smells more citrusy, more like the white Cattleya, the Princess Jackie. Not identical in any way, but just reminds me of that one. It's a really beautiful scent that I prefer. And actually, I just noticed today that she managed to open one of her buds. There we go. This was closed when I purchased it, but it opened. That's a good sign. However, can you see all of the other buds? They already have yellowing stems. They are going to fall. This one, I don't know how much it's gonna last. I think it's already starting to yellow, the stem. these were shocked, as I was saying, and by that I mean temperature shocked. Now in my particular location, winter is very, very mild. It's certainly not as cold as the winter I experienced. To me, cold means way below zero. Here, it's kind of springy all the time. But in the past 2 weeks, we had pretty low temperatures during nighttime actually. 2, 3, 4 degrees Celsius, and not only that, they were prolonged. Every night for the past 2 weeks has been very, very cold. Now, most flower shops here, if not all of them, they're not heated because there's no point in heating them. They do have ACs, but no point in using them in the winter time, since many cut flowers actually prefer to be rather cool, and it's never very, very cold. Well, this time it was for a prolonged period of time, and these orchids have been in the shop for the past 2 weeks or so because I skipped one round. I actually do rounds, weekly rounds. I skipped one because I thought, hey, there's not gonna be anything new because of the new year, blah blah. Well, I missed out. So these orchids have been sitting for a week and a half at least in the flower shop, and they did not enjoy the low temperatures of the nighttime, which you will see on the other orchids as well. But even on Miltoniopsis, which are cooler growers, they really did not enjoy the nighttime temperatures, and you can see many of the buds are actually falling, they're not opening. This one as well, this is not a hair Alexander, it's something else, and I'm happy to see that this one is trying to open up, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to open up completely. The other buds as well, they are going to fall, they're not gonna open up. So that's the problem with these Miltoniopsis. These two have been purchased from a different flower shop. This one has been better treated, maybe the temperatures were a little higher in this particular flower shop. Looks wise, these two only have one pseudobulb, which is capable of blooming, and then a very tiny one in the back. This one is wobbly as well. I think with these two, I'm just going to cut the flower spikes and proceed to repotting them and starting them off because I'm not going to enjoy these flowers. Maybe that one a little bit, but they have no fragrance. They have been suffering. Even the red tide, if you look in the back there, we do have some yellowing leaves. I don't know, I'll see what to do, but yeah, sadly, this flowering is compromised, and I think the best thing to do is just to repot them, cut the flower spikes, and call it a day. That is that. Hopefully they will bring some other Miltoniopsis this spring here, but I'm not sure about that. It's okay, we can wait until next autumn to see them in bloom. Next up, we have a Phalaenopsis orchid. It's really rare that I actually am impressed by Phalaenopsis orchids anymore. I think at some point we've kind of seen it all, and new hybrids, they don't appear all that often. Well, this is one of those that made me go, alrighty, this is special. This appears to be a new hybrid, at least here in Europe. This is worth it. However, I didn't purchase it the first time that I saw it because it has a major issue. So I found this one at the same flower shop with the Miltoniopsis. I saw it, I loved it, but I let it be. I didn't purchase it, went back home, and it was just on my mind. I kept thinking about it. So the next day I went back and I purchased it. So what's the problem with this one? Well, it has 3 flower spikes, one of which is a terminal spike. And from this angle, I don't think you can properly see it, but there you go. That, my friends, from the middle there, is a terminal spike. We call it that way because it's the last structure, pretty much in most cases, that the orchid will create. No more leaves from the crown. So yeah, it's problematic. So I thought about it. I decided not to get it because the outcome of these orchids is never certain. Yes, we talk about, it's gonna create a keiki, we're gonna clone the keiki, everybody's happy, and we'll live happily ever after. But it doesn't really always happen that way. And I have another orchid which is giving me headaches now and is doing some unexpected stuff, sadly. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna buy it, because if somebody else buys it or gifts it to a person who really doesn't know much about orchids, they're gonna either be disappointed, either the chances of being successful with something like this decrease, either it will try to create a keiki, but the person will not know it's a keiki, they will say, oh, it's another leaf, like this one here. I thought that at least I would not be very disappointed if something bad would happen, because I'm already expecting it. So I thought that at least for the purpose of an educational video, it's worth buying, and I will try to do my best to maintain it going, to maintain its existence. If not, then, well, we're just gonna make a really good video on it, go through all of the possible scenarios that you can have with a terminal spike Phalaenopsis, and if it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be, but I do sure hope that it's not a very let's say, reoccurring gene. So just saving it through a keiki doesn't mean everything will forever be okay. But you never know what the case might be. So yeah, that's the problem with this orchid, but she really is really beautiful. Oh, wait, no, there's another problem. Again, because of the cold weather and because everybody just keeps pouring so much water over these orchids, we really don't have a really good root system. This orchid is suffering quite a lot. I do have a few roots, so we're okay, but yeah, no, she is in a bad shape in various different ways. Next up, surprise, surprise, yes, it's a Cattleya orchid, you guys. It's really rare that you find Cattleyas here, particularly something like this. When I saw it, I thought maybe a Maikai variety, but then maybe not. It really doesn't look that way. Sadly though, yet again, we're dealing with a shocked orchid. These buds don't really want to open, the flowers don't want to open more. I don't know if it's fragrant, I don't know if this is the final color. I think it will get more purple than this, but yeah, I don't know. This orchid needs to pretty much figure out where it is right now. The good thing is this orchid is actually a pretty big girl. It has multiple directions of growth, and I do still have 2 more growths in the back. Let me see if I can show them to you, which have buds. So you can see this one has buds, and there was another one. This one here has buds as well. But since this orchid is in shock, I'm not sure if they will develop. I hope they will. I have her for almost a week already, and these buds have not moved at all since I purchased it. So I'm not entirely sure if she will develop these flowers or these buds anymore, but hopefully the other ones will be developed. So yes, Cattleyas, not only are they rare, but you don't actually have much variety in the way of intergenerics. You usually find those with pretty fluffy flowers, not very big flowers, let's say medium-sized. The pink one is everywhere, the purple one again is everywhere. Other than that, here and there an orange one or a reddish one, but that's about it. With the Cattleyas, again, not much variety, at least here in Europe. So when you see something like this, which you just know it's an intergeneric and maybe it has some brassavola in it, it's a celebration. So I really couldn't pass on it. I'm going to take care of it, no problem, but I'm really curious what it could be and if it's fragrant in any way. It definitely looks like a Laelia hybrid, that's for sure. So maybe it's not a brassavola hybrid now that I look at it. Oh yeah, I think it's a Laelia hybrid. So yeah, no, not the Maikai or a Maikai relative, but definitely I do enjoy the shape of the Laelia. We're just gonna see at the next flowering. And lastly, the 3 Phalaenopsis that you saw in the Repot Me orchid tutorial. We're not gonna look at the other 2 because they are pretty common. This, on the other hand, is one of those big lips Phalaenopsis. This is a Harlequin big lip orchid, and since I do seem to have some issues with my big lips Phalaenopsis, I thought, hey, another one is quite welcome in the collection. So going back to the terminal spike Phalaenopsis, the one that I have in my collection is making a terminal spike yet again on its keiki, and it just so happens it's a big lipped one. So hopefully it's not the one that I think it is, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty bummed about that, to be fully honest with you guys. So you know what, big lip Phalaenopsis are welcome in my collection. Hopefully this one will now put on terminal spikes, but yeah, there we go. That's about it for my little haul here. I am itching to purchase some more orchids, but it's really not the right time, temperature-wise and other reasons why. But until then, flower shop orchids it is. And this year has been very poor in new orchids, but fingers crossed that from now on we're gonna get more intergenerics. So alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll have a great week. With that said, you know the drill. Like or dislike this video below. Subscribe to my channel for regular orchid videos, tutorials, Q&As, and other fun orchid subjects. And if you like YouTube to notify you whenever I upload a new video, just turn on notifications for my channel. Also, if you're curious in my setup and other products that I use in my grow space, just check the description. I list everything there. And with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!